Hey, howdy friends. Guess what? You see that bald head right there? It's cold. And guess what? It's going to get a lot colder. Can you believe down here on the Texas Gulf Coast, it is going to get down to 12 degrees on Monday with snow and sleet Monday and Tuesday? That's the coldest it's ever been here. The coldest I have ever heard of before is 17 degrees, and this is 5 degrees colder than that. And I've checked the weather 3 or 4 times today, and every time I check it, it's colder than it was the previous time. It started out at 15 degrees, and then 14 degrees, and then 13 degrees, and right now it's saying 12 degrees. This bald head's gonna freeze, y'all. I'm in town. I came to find me a heater because the one I got in that RV, it does good, does real good. If you got it sitting on the floor right between your knees, then you can feel it. If you walk 6 inches away, you can't feel it. The RV has central heat, but that thing runs on propane, and it uses one of those big tanks of propane in about 6 or 7 hours, and it hadn't been used in so long. I'm afraid to hook it up, even though I got a lot of propane. I got several big full tanks of propane. I'm afraid to run it because it hadn't been running so long. So I was going to buy a better heater than the one I got, which the one I got usually does great, but it wasn't built to handle 12-degree weather and snow and sleet. After today, I'm hibernating, and that ain't no lie. God gave me some really good stuff today, this morning early before the sun came up, and I kept forgetting to share it. It's longer than usual. I hope y'all can have an attention span long enough to listen for the whole thing, because it's all really good. Parts of it, bits and pieces of it, I've given to you before, but God wanted the whole thing shared together this time. It is the entire chapter 40 of the book of Isaiah, plus the first 14 verses of chapter 41. So you are getting a total of 40, let's see, how many? 42 verses. That's more, I think, than I ever gave you before. So I better stop my redneck rambling and get to reading here. I love y'all. I appreciate you. Share my Christian videos. The world needs Jesus. The world really needs Jesus, especially on these cold winter nights and days. We need to cuddle up close to Jesus. He keeps us warm, and he'll keep us from extreme heat through all eternity if we know him as our personal Lord and Savior. And I don't think in heaven it's going to matter if it's hot or cold, and I know it don't snow in heaven. God would never do that to us. My friend Sharon over in Ireland, she might disagree, but she loves snow. I don't. I don't like snow at all. It's pretty to look at. If I can be inside looking through a big show window outside at the snow, I love it, as long as there's a big roaring fire going on behind me keeping me warm. I don't like playing in the snow, but I like looking at it. All right, let me shut up and get reading. Isaiah chapter 40 and the first 14 verses of 41, and here we go. Comfort ye, my people, saith your God. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned, for she hath received of the Lord's hand double for all her sins. The voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, Prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places plain. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. And the voice said, Cry. And he said, What shall I cry? All flesh is grass, and all the goodliness thereof is as the flowers of the field. The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, because the Spirit of the Lord bloweth upon it. Surely the people is grass. The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, but the word of our God shall stand forever. O Zion, that bringest good tidings, get thee up into the high mountain. O Jerusalem, that bringest good tidings, lift up thy voice with strength. Lift it up, be not afraid. Say unto the cities of Judah, Behold your God. Behold, the Lord God will come with strong hand, and his arm shall rule for him. Behold, his reward is with him, and his work before him. He shall feed his flock like a shepherd. He shall gather the lambs with his arm, and carry them in his bosom, and shall gently lead those that are with young. Who hath measured the waters in the hollow of his hand, and meted out heaven with the span, and comprehended the dust of the earth in a measure, and weighed the mountains in scales, and the hills in a balance? Who hath directed the Spirit of the Lord, or being his counselor hath taught him? With whom took he counsel, and who instructed him, and taught him in the path of judgment, and taught him knowledge, and showed to him the way of understanding? Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. And Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beast thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. All nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity. To whom then will ye liken God, or what likeness will ye compare to him? The workman melteth in a graven image, and the goldsmith spreadeth it over with gold, and casteth silver chains. He that is so impoverished that he hath no oblation chooseth a tree that will not rot. He seeketh unto him a cunning workman to prepare a graven image that shall not be moved. Have ye not known? Have ye not heard? Hath it not been told to you from the beginning? Have ye not understood from the foundation of the earth? It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in, that bringeth the princes to nothing. He maketh the judges of the earth as vanity. Yea, they shall not be planted, yea, they shall not be sown, Yea, their stock shall not take in the earth, shall not root in the earth. And he shall also blow upon them, and they shall wither. And the whirlwind shall take them away as stubble. To whom then will ye liken me? Or shall I be equal? Saith the Holy One. Lift up your eyes on high, and behold, who hath created these things that bringeth out their host by number? He calleth them all by names, by the greatness of his might, for that he is strong in power, not one that faileth. Why sayest thou, O Jacob, and speakest, O Israel, my way is hid from the Lord, and my judgment is passed over from my God? And remember, y'all, it referred here in a couple other places as Jacob. We, Gentile, true Christians, are descendants of Jacob. We are equal partners in salvation through Christ Jesus because we are descendants of Jacob. Not Esau, his twin brother, but Jacob. So he's referring to the descendants of Jacob and Israel here. The Christians, the true Christians. Okay, got that little clarification or reminder out of the way. Let me find out where I was at now. Okay, I just did that one. Okay, continuing on. Hast thou not known, hast thou not heard, that the everlasting God, the Lord, the Creator of the ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary? There is no searching of his understanding. He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increaseth strength. Even the youths shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fail. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Chapter 41, verse 1, and I'll stop at 14. Keep silence before me, O islands, and let the people renew their strength. Let them come near, let them speak. Let us come near together to judgment. Who raised up the righteous man from the east, called him to his foot, gave the nations before him, and made him rule over kings. He gave them as the dust to his sword, and as driven stubble to his bow. He pursued them and passed safely, even by the way that he had not gone with his feet. Who hath wrought and done it, calling the generations from the beginning? I, the Lord, the first, with the last, I am he. The isles saw it, and it's I-S-L-E, not A-I-S-L-E-S. The I-S-L-E-S saw it and learned. No, I'm sorry. The isles saw it and feared. The ends of the earth were afraid, drew near and came. They helped every one his neighbor, and every one said to his brother, Be of good courage. So the carpenter encouraged the goldsmith, and he that smootheth with a hammer him that smote the anvil, saying, It is ready for the soldering. And he fastened it with nails, that it should not be moved. But thou, Israel, art my servant. Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend, thou whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, thou art my servant. I have chosen thee and not cast thee away. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish. Thou shalt seek them, and thou shalt not find them, even them that contended with thee. They that war against thee shall be as nothing, and as a thing of naught. For I, the Lord thy God, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, Fear not, I will help thee. Fear not thy worm, Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, saith the Lord, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Bam! Is that some of the best stuff your ears ever listened to? Let me read that last verse again. And remember, true Christians, true Gentile Christians, are the descendants of Jacob, who God chose over Esau. So he's talking to us here, and he's talking to the men of Israel. Verse 14 of verse 41, the last verse I read, out of all this good stuff, and I'm going to elaborate more, even though I'm already over 17 minutes. I am going to elaborate more, just a little bit more. Fear not, thou worm, Jacob, and ye men of Israel, I will help thee, saith the Lord, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Friends, it doesn't matter what the world or man or fraudulent elections or fraudulent anything might chunk in your path. God is with us, and God gives us peace. God stands up for us all the time, even when it seems like he doesn't. Like right now, I look at my inspection on my truck. Can you see that right there? It says 0321. That means the last day of March in 2021, I got to get this truck re-registered. And in the state of Texas, to get it re-registered, it first has to pass a safety inspection. I've never had I never had a problem with it passing safety inspection before, but this year I am running around on 4 bald boots that tripped Houston yesterday in the rain. This thing was slipping and sliding all over the highway because it doesn't have any treads on the tires to keep it on the road. It wasn't quite that bad, and today it would pass inspection, but by the time March gets here and the miles I put on those tires between now and then, it probably won't. So I do seriously need to get some new tires, or at least some good used tires between now and then. And if that wasn't enough, now my fuel pump is going out. This morning I had to try 30 times to start the truck, and I told myself after the 20th time or 21st or 2nd or 3rd or 4th time, I would stop at 30 and give up and call a tow truck. But on the 30th time it started. and I came to town. I've stopped one, two, three, four places, and it started up. Once I get it started, it'll run all day. For now, one day I'm going to be somewhere, go out to start it, and it'll say, "Nope, Bubba, I'm done. Time to get that new fuel pump." But for now, so far, thank God, it has restarted. Once I get it started, getting it started first thing in the morning is hard, but once it starts, it'll go. I need to quit pushing my luck and get a new fuel pump. But I had the problem diagnosed yesterday, and it's right at $800. I think 786 or 789 or something like that. And most of that is the fuel pump. The fuel pump itself is 468 or something like that, 463, just for the fuel pump. I remember back when I used to be able to work on cars, when I could open a hood and know what I was looking at, unlike today, a fuel pump was $19, and now it's almost $500. And the labor is close to $300, because they got to take the bed of my truck off to get to the fuel pump. They got to take the bed off my truck to get to the fuel pump. The fuel pump, they say, and I looked it up and they're right, is inserted through the top of the fuel tank. The fuel tank is underneath the bed of the pickup. They can't remove the fuel tank from the bottom because it's above the rear axle. So either they got to take the axle off and all the brake lines and whatever lines goes to the wheels on each side and get it out that way, or they got to take the bed off. And they said with 7 or 8 bolts they can take the bed off, and it's a whole lot easier. The bed is a third of the truck. But anyway, that's the way they said they do it. But that's very labor intensive. So I'm looking at $800 for a new fuel pump, and I don't have $80, much less $800. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I need tires, and I need a fuel pump, or I need a new truck. I stopped 2 places on the way to town looking at a new truck. Good gosh. A used truck, I saw one used truck that looked new. It was $55,000. $55,000 for a used truck. I can't even afford a used truck. I like this truck. I have no problem with this truck. And it really is low mileage. So I don't know why the fuel pump's petering out on me, but this Hemi engine under this thing, and I need this big engine and the towing package and all that this truck has to pull my RV in case I ever need to take off and pull my RV again. But it pulled that RV for 3 or 4 hours, and I didn't even know the RV was back there, except when I looked in my mirrors and couldn't see anything behind me because it was so big. Other than that, I didn't know it was back there. This truck pulled it great, and I've pulled other trailers a lot with it in it, and I can load the back up with garden soil and sand and gravel and whatever I need to haul, and it has no problem pulling loads. It's got a big engine, but that big engine is a heavy drinker, and to get all the heavy drinks that it likes, it needs a fuel pump, and my fuel pump is dying quickly, so I got to get home before my fuel pump dies and I have to walk. It's too cold to walk. I love y'all. Share the Christian videos and pray for the world. Oh, and what I was going to talk about, I had a dream last night, and I hardly ever dream. Maybe once a year, maybe twice a year. Last night I dreamed that God, and I don't think this was like a vision. It wasn't a vision, and I don't know if it came from God. I don't know where it came from because I never dreamed, but God was telling me, and the dream started, God said, "I hate thieves." I'm not a thief. I've never stolen anything. Matter of fact, when I came back from England, after I got back to America from working over there 3 years, I discovered in one of my bags, actually it was in a box that they shipped to me after I had come back, because I didn't bring everything with me out of my office all at once. When I moved back, they shipped me a box back with my computers and stuff, and I don't remember what all. But anyway, in that box was a pen that was not mine. It belonged to them. And you know, office pens, they buy them probably by the uh, the cases, probably 144 gross of them in a case. I don't know how many pens are in a box, but anyway, it was a cheap Bic pen, probably 20 cents worth or something. But I called them long distance from Houston, Texas to England. Said, hey, in that box was one of your pens. You want me to mail it back to you? Because it's not mine. I said, I got the box, I appreciate it, but that pen is not mine. They said, no. Said it costs more to mail than it's worth. I said, well, I just want to check with you because it's not mine. You sent me something that wasn't mine. They said, keep it. Said it's their retirement gift. But anyway, friends, I am not a thief, so I didn't know why God told me I hate thieves. But his next sentence was, Donald Trump was elected, but it was stolen. I hate thieves. Why did he tell me that? Unless, oh, and he also said, vengeance is mine. Those were his words, not my words. Those were God's words. So, maybe it ain't over yet. I know on Judgment Day it will be dealt with, but between now and Judgment Day, and I feel like Judgment Day is coming pretty soon. I really do. Is he going to wait till then to get his vengeance? I don't know. I do not know. I don't have a clue. I don't know what that dream is about, but it was kind of interesting. And then after I got up, and that woke me up like at 3:15 this morning, I got up. It was kind of an unusual dream. Plus the fact that I dreamed period was unusual. But I got up and made my coffee. And then after I got my coffee and sat down, then God gave me all of Isaiah 40 and the first 4 verses of chapter 41. And I started reading it. And if you go back and read it yourself, or listen to me again reading it, that all, it's talking, it could be addressing several things. It could be addressing a nation such as America. I don't know. Nothing with God is coincidence. It's all providence. So I don't know what the messages are here. I'm going to go back and reread it some more. And I may not understand what God's message is without several days passing and more prayer with God and more reading of his word. I don't watch media anymore because it's all corrupt and lies and deceptive. I don't watch media. I haven't been back on Facebook. My main Facebook should be out of jail now, but I haven't been back there. And I may not go back there. Why? Why go back there? I got God, I got the Bible, and I got y'all. I better get off here. This is 30 minutes long. Good gosh, it's going to take 5 years for it to load. I love y'all. Take care. Love you very much. Appreciate your faithfulness here.